to another live reaction show. This time we are reacting to NXT Takeover in your house. Just got off the air about 10 minutes ago. John, how do you like the pay-per-view overall before we get into specific matches?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely some form of nostalgia with the whole setup there.
Yep.
With the in your house, and just everything that was set up. So I'm glad that they did honor that whole tradition there.
We did hear stuff before leading up to that they were going to be paid some homage and nostalgia.
And to throughout the night they were running ads.
Those are great.
like Ico Pro and everything. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, Adam Cole did the apparently, because I honestly haven't watched any of the In Your House pay-per-views back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But that Adam Cole spot was the Bret Hart commercial.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool, and they had the ice cream bars
Todd Pettengill.
spots. Yeah,
Todd.
Yeah, he was doing that. His interview stuff, which was cool.
And also to honor the occasion tonight, I had to wear my Owen Hart T-shirt. And just so you guys know, he is not a nugget.
He's not a nugget.
And enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Whoa. So.
Okay. So let's get into the matches here. First up tonight, we had the 6-woman tag match. We had Mia Yim,
Shotzi
Blackheart, and Tegan Knox. I drew a blank there for a second. Versus Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Candice LeRae. I thought this was a decent opener, decent match. There were some iffy spots, if you will. The one that comes to mind was Mia Yim kind of being late for the pin save, breaking up the pin.
Yeah, just about a second or two too late there. Which that was kind of weird. And to I really feel like they were a little bit overdoing with the whole like a moonsaults or like dives off of the top rope there. But that was being more nitpicky there. But as I said and as I told you, saw a match. I just didn't really think that this really needed to actually be on the card. I felt like, and we talked about this on Wednesday, that they probably could have saved this for a future NXT episode, but yeah, very good.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that it could have been on NXT, a regular show, but a good way to show off the women's division.
Yeah, and
culminate
depth there.
Obviously the depth, and culminate at least some feud, especially the Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai one. Which was pleasantly surprised she got the pin over Dakota.
Yeah, I feel like with those two, they have been feuding for the last 8 months now.
Yeah, right. But the weird thing with that feud is, if to me it started out hot, and it kind of they did it, and they really didn't want to overstay their welcome, and it was kind of just there in the background, which is kind of is a good thing in a way. So it's just not there. It's you know the history, and when they interact, there is some animosity, but at least to me, and anybody watching, comment on the Twitter, on the chat here, if it just seemed like it fizzled out maybe too quick, like the heart of the feud.
Well, and it didn't help too that that when they were really starting to actually get going, we had the pandemic, and
Right.
that and this has been a current theme with a lot of feuds going on in various companies. It's just they were kind of stalling, and then they tried picking it back up again. I'm not exactly sure where this story's actually going. Do we? Because I believe from the steel cage match didn't Dakota Kai win there?
I think so.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not, and now with her pinning Dakota Kai, you would think, okay, we're probably getting a future singles match. Do we?
I feel like they've done.
And another problem with that was too, when they did have their singles match, it was a street fight. Then they did a steel cage match. Like, do you go Hell in the Cell? Do you I'm not exactly sure how you try and pull and blow off this feud here. Like, do you have it's got to be some sort of special stipulation to where, kind of similar with Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, as to where to go. Yeah,
it's, I don't know. I just feel like it's lost steam that a match of that caliber almost doesn't make sense. Like, doesn't feel right to me. I don't say it doesn't make sense because it's weird. Like they kind of dropped it, and Tegan wasn't really doing anything. I feel like they need to eventually push Tegan. I think she's great. Push Tegan in terms of what I mean, like a championship run or something. Because like right now, at least to me, she's kind of there, and not a bad, not like really disparaging her. It's just like she's there. She just needs that. She needs that push.
Yeah, or
a little kick that really go to the next step, and it's going to be hard to do. In when I mean next step, like the championship right now with, and we'll talk about it, but if you're listening to this, you've watched the show of Io winning, because she's going to need a heel to go up against.
Honestly, I think it could probably be we could possibly see a heel turn from Rhea. I think that's pretty possible.
Yeah,
too.
Or in the very least, if it's not a heel turn, it's just
Candice too.
Or Candice.
Yeah.
I think logic dictates that if we have Rhea versus Io the way it ended tonight, and again we'll get more into that, but we'll get more into that later. The next match after was the
Finn Balor and
Damian Priest. This match kind of, in a way, surprised me how good it was, in my opinion. I never thought it was going to be bad. This was just a little bit of surprise for me. Very physical match. I enjoyed it. It was another solid match in this lineup, in this card. Finn Balor gets the win, which I think none of us are surprised by that. Damian Priest looked good. I still don't know, and I tweeted this out on our Twitter, how I exactly feel about Priest. In terms of, I like him. He's got a look.
I feel like he's gotten lost in the shuffle, but I'm hoping now that with some people getting called up, because another thing about the show, Matt, we're kind of seeing a new influx of talent. We're kind of seeing a changing of the guard a little bit,
setting the groundworks,
right? Because to more talking about specifically about Ciampa and Gargano, seems like they're going to be having a lesser of an actual role, or a like a higher role in NXT. We're seeing guys such as Killer Cross and Keith Lee. I definitely think we need to get some new faces, definitely. But as it pertains with this, so it just seems like they just kind of, I mean, like, yeah, like they had this storyline over a few months, but it just like it was kind of like, okay, this thing is going to have a pretty short shelf life, because obviously.
What are you talking about?
With Finn Balor and Damien Priest taking out Finn Balor. So it just like there was only
like a transition feud.
Right. It was because they were supposed to do Finn Balor versus Walter, but obviously because of the pandemic, So
that's right. This is obviously like a filler. Something, some plans obviously changed. Something they needed to do something,
and obviously with how the NXT Championship match ended, like, to me the only logical feud to really do right now is Adam Cole versus Finn Balor, because to me, I mean, like, probably the only other person you could probably make an argument for is probably Killer Cross.
I think that's too soon right now.
Yeah, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
In a second.
But Damien, the only thing that to go back to your comment, I was going to say, when you said lost in the shuffle, that kind of reminded me when you said that of a Keith Lee before he got his 2019. He was there. They didn't really have anything for him because everything else was going on.
Confused me. Because he signed and he was virtually hardly even on TV for the first 8 months or so.
But somehow NXT, they find a way more times than not, at least in my opinion, and maybe I could be wrong, that people who are just kind of in the shuffle, somehow they get them just right to build them up, like in Keith Lee's sense. He was kind of there, and now he's like one of the biggest stars they have in that brand, arguably.
And I would say probably outside of Karrion Kross and maybe Adam Cole, he probably is your biggest star right now on that brand.
And I go back to Finn Balor and Cole.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that being a way, if you want to get Cole up or move over to the main roster, Finn beating Cole for the title, frees him up, and then you can have Balor doing matches with other people to maybe down the line at Karrion Kross, because like Balor at this point, I mean, it's maybe even ridiculous to say, if he lost to Karrion Kross, it's no big deal.
No, well, I mean, like,
down the line, he's that veteran that if he loses a title, it's not going to kill him.
And if anyone can really benefit from that, it's definitely Kross, because and we've talked about this. Finn Balor has yet to even be pinned.
Yes, that is true.
So that kind of would fit in really good there.
And I think those two would have a great match together.
They would beat the shit out of each other.
Yes.
But for the match itself, one spot, that freaking spot where Damian Priest got
that ladder spot, the chair. He was
on. He was
the steps.
He was on the steps, or like he got thrown on the steps, and it was like that looked like it hurt really, really bad.
That looked looked nasty. I was like, Oh,
Yeah. I mean, like there were, and for the match itself, it was solid. I would say it wasn't anything spectacular. But and
it was
another spot.
it was
Yeah.
it was a solid undercard match.
Mhm.
It didn't do anything crazy. The order to overshadow the main event. It was a solid bout. It didn't go crazy.
Mhm.
It made sense for the grand scheme, which we don't need to go balls to the wall every match. It's okay.
No.
Solid undercard, if you will, match to kick off the men's portion,
Yeah,
if you will.
And now, I mean, like as far as and we kind of discussed this, what is next for Balor? I gotta think it's either a title match against Keith Lee or a title match against
Walter.
against Adam Cole. I mean, like because I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure what is going on with Walter, and until they, because I'm pretty sure that everything is still pretty shut down over in the UK,
Possibly, yeah.
over there. So,
But
mhm.
eventually, that's true. They okay, yeah. I mean, the Walter match, if they want to do down
It's
the
gonna
line,
happen.
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Just three things, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to take some time, obviously.
Yeah, I think maybe Keith Lee and Adam Cole are only two right now that seem logical and plausible with
And
everything.
and with how and with how both of their matches ended tonight, you can easily just slide in Balor to either one of those title feuds right there. So
Yeah.
so yeah. But that was that. Then we move on to the North American Championship between Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano. And the one thing I took away from this match, Johnny Gargano sucks at opening doors.
Yes.
Apparently he didn't know when he was trying to get inside the house that he had his key in his trunks. Oh, and by the way, there's an entranceway just to his right there.
And he had all the time in the world to do it because Keith Lee was just standing there like, you idiot.
And apparently he was petrified with fear or petrified with absolute stupidity, because which that really made me laugh. But I'm watching this whole thing, Matt, and I mean, and no offense to Johnny, but I just could not take him seriously as a legit threat to actually beating Keith Lee. And like I never really felt that I mean, like maybe outside of the key spot I was like, okay, maybe he might get the pin there, but throughout the majority of the match, it was pretty clear who I felt was going to win here. You know?
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
I was confident Keith Lee was going to win. I didn't think when he did the key spot again, he wasn't going to win twice. He wasn't going to quote unquote win twice with that.
Right.
That is per tradition.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally expected that key spot to happen. Quickly before we continue, I like how they transition from the kitchen from his house
Mm-hmm.
to the going to the door in the picture of Doc Hendricks.
Doc Hendricks.
Michael PSAs.
And the funny thing is, Michael Hayes hated that persona of his, which yeah, that was definitely a rib there.
Triple H is like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then the transitioning to walking through the door,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that production there was great.
Mm-hmm.
Nice touch. I, in general, like the whiny, heelish. Well, obviously whiny crybaby heel Johnny is. I think he's pulling that off well. I think what he's doing is working. It worked in the match, maybe except for the door spot, which seemed a little out of place. That's again the only big knock in this match. No pun intended. Knock door. I didn't mean for that to happen. That's what she said.
I'd say it.
Yeah, first time in forever. That's another one. But anyways, get to the point. I thought this was a solid match. Like pretty much every match on this card. I'm going to sound like a broken record for that. I'm trying to think of any key spots. Again, another no pun intended there. Did you have anything else written down to take notes? Nothing else comes to mind.
It was just like
the key thing.
It was the key spot. Him not knowing how to unlock a house. We had the confrontation with Candice. Oh, and Keith Lee pouncing. Johnny Gargano.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. How did I forget about that?
Through the plexiglass was an amazing visual there. Very similar to when, well, outside of the plexiglass and the fans there, where was
Adam Cole spot?
When he did that to Adam Cole,
yes,
which was tremendous. It's just
perfect use of the plexiglass. If you're gonna have it, makes it seem big spot for this match.
Yeah.
So
and for me, for Keith Lee, it's just a consistent reminder with him just how big of a potential star that this man can be. Like I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, WWE has had a really hard time. Oh, okay. I think we're back now. Yep.
Because the internet, I don't know if my internet just keeled over.
Yeah. Yeah. WWE has had a really hard time. Oh, okay. I think we're back now. Yeah.
Apparently we're back.
Okay.
I don't know if my internet. Yep. Okay. So we're not having a video right now. So I apologize if you're watching. So until I get the video back, it's just going to be audio, and I'm slowly working on that. So anyways, we just finished up talking about Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano and Keith Lee, and let's move on to the next match.
Okay, so then we had the NXT Championship, which was the backlot brawl as it was panned as. The Adam Cole versus the Velveteen Dream, and where they placed. Oh yeah, so you just took us off of Zoom.
Yeah, I started another one, so right now everybody's seeing my face.
Okay.
And we'll get that going.
Okay. Okay, and as for the match itself, this was interesting. You saw Adam Cole coming on a freaking monster truck with the Undisputed Era listed on there, and then with the Velveteen Dream, he came on a Lamborghini, I think it might have been.
Don't ask me. I'm terrible with cars.
Yeah, I am too. But he was coming out looking like three different people that you could have thought of. You could have thought of like Negan from the Walking Dead. You could have thought of from Hot Rod from his WrestleMania match against Goldust, and also my good buddy Rodzilla, or better known as Dennis Rodman. Yep. And then with the match itself, I know with some people they were not like it was kind of hard visually to look at it, because of the headlights I mean, I definitely from a few friends of mine, they're like it's kind of distracting, which
in
I
the
can see
beginning, I can see more, not so much in the second half. I thought, in my opinion, the first half of this match, really, I think didn't do much for me. I think overall this was maybe the weakest of the cinematic matches they've done.
Yeah.
Out of, you have to compare, you have the Boneyard match, the Firefly Funhouse match, and Johnny and Ciampa. I believe that's the only three, if I'm not mistaken. Am I missing one?
Firefly Funhouse match. That. Okay, you said that.
Boneyard, Firefly, Johnny Gargano, and Ciampa. I think there's only three.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Yeah. I think this was the weakest of the three.
Yeah.
But the second half of this match, I think once the other members of Undisputed Era came, and you had Dexter Lumis,
a serial killer.
He didn't kill anybody yet.
A serial killer just packed two poor members of the Undisputed Era, and they're gone. And who knows if we will ever see them again?
If this is wrestling, we will.
If you say so. I don't know, man.
They're not. Undisputed Era is just not going to disappear off of TV.
I don't know.
Maybe Dexter Lumis drove them to the main roster.
They could pull. What happened with Samoa Joe on TNA Impact, where a pack of people dressed as clowns just threw him in a.
NXT's doing that too.
White van. Oh yeah, they are. But okay. I kind of lost my train of thought there.
We both of us are today.
And the biggest stunner of them all, Matt. The match ended with a Canadian Destroyer.
And it finished. It won.
It won.
Maybe one other time with Dustin Rhodes and AEW it happened.
Granted,
the caveat there.
The caveat, though, was like that Canadian Destroyer landed on a huge pile of steel chairs. And
if that didn't finish it, I would have been extremely upset.
Yeah, I'd be like, he should not be kicking out of that.
No.
So now, with Adam Cole winning the NXT championship, or sorry, with Adam Cole retaining his NXT championship, this now puts Velveteen Dream. He can no longer challenge for any future NXT title matches as long as Adam Cole is the NXT champion.
Yes.
So and I said this to you earlier tonight. This might be an out to him getting called up because you figure, okay, well, yeah, probably with the storyline that probably called for them putting in that stipulation because I think they had two other time matches before. I could be wrong about that, but also too it's something that I could definitely see.
It's a possibility.
Being a possibility, just because there's really nowhere else for him to go right now. I feel. I mean, like, unless they want to throw him in a feud with Killer Cross or something like that, which I mean, like, I don't know where you go with Velveteen Dream now because I felt like if he was going to have some sort of direction, he probably should have won the title here. You know.
Yeah. Dream needs a crowd.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
He's one that's like desperately needs his character and reactions depend on it. Other people can get away with it more easily, but him, and I think I remember a tweet from Wrestling Inc.'s Raj Giri who said the same thing. Like with the crowd interaction, it fits. Since he's came back, it's not been the same. He's been good, but his
feud has been not too kind on him. I felt like because when he came back, he was like playing a stalker on on like Roderick Strong's wife and stuff like that. It was.
And they used it to get to Adam Cole.
Yeah, it's.
I wish they would have got her involved because she's
Right.
on. Well, was she pregnant at the time? Was she having a kid? She wasn't pregnant at the time.
Nope. She's
Excuse
currently
me.
signed too with
Yeah, she's one of
NXT,
the
so-
4 horsewomen of the MMA.
Yeah, so I'm just like I'm not exactly sure why they didn't involve her. It was just a weird way to bring him back, and like it just wasn't a good start for him.
I didn't mind I kind of liked that gimmick because it was in a way entertaining, but then it was like the transition. I don't know, was weird.
And two, at least for me, at least I feel like with the Undisputed Era, they've gotten a little bit stale at this point. So they're novel unless it's not involving Adam Cole. It's just like it's at least for me, anyways. It's getting harder to get invested with them specifically, unless obviously that it's involving Adam Cole. So I think feuding Dream with Roddy probably wasn't the best idea at the time, and granted, it was to eventually get to Adam Cole to get a title match, but I think it was a good thing with that it was different than just Undisputed Era fighting for the tag team titles like every single time. So with that, I found it refreshing. It wasn't just tag team, but the end result. At the end result, I don't know, it was fishy. Mm-hmm.
Just I don't know. It just didn't fit right. The stuff was there. It just didn't groove completely.
So now with Adam Cole, and we talked about this at the beginning of the stream here. Now I think probably the most logical guy that you probably put against him is probably Finn Balor.
Yes.
I mean, like Killer Cross, I think still needs some more time. Although with how badly he beat Ciampa, and we'll get to that in a second here. I wouldn't be angry if they just threw him right into
I think
the
it's
fire.
I think it's too soon.
But I do think
you don't want to do an AEW with their big guys.
No, well, but at the same time too, with Cage, he's going right against Moxley though too. But the difference is they're not throwing the whole entire ship behind Cage like NXT is doing with Cross. But as far as Balor is concerned, I gotta think the first title match that he gets, he needs to be the man to finally beat Adam Cole. Because again, as we said, he has not yet to be pinned yet, and I think that should definitely continue here.
Yep.
I don't see on any other.
There's nobody else.
Right. Exactly.
Primed.
Finn Balor. And two, he would be. Would this be his third time as NXT champion? I want to say yes.
Yes. And then with Balor as champion, there's fresh feuds that you can have.
Yeah.
It's different. There's a lot of new talent, other people he hasn't really wrestled. So it would be good. And if you want to call Cole up, losing the Balor, and then heading in next Monday, the following Monday or whatever, you get promos for Adam Cole.
I feel like that for Cole, that probably his last takeover will be at the SummerSlam takeover. Now hopefully that's in front of
some sort of crowd.
Some sort of crowd. But I definitely feel like that we're getting closer to the end for him in the Undisputed Era and NXT, because they've been down there now for what, 3 years now?
Something like that.
Pretty close to it now.
It's a hell of a run.
Exactly. I mean, like, I'm not sure, like, once he drops that title, he really doesn't have anything else to actually do.
He's
now.
accomplished almost everything in that
he's
thing.
accomplished everything, and now, I think they, as I said, they will do this Finn Balor match, and it'll be time for him to hopefully onto some better things. But as we've seen with guys who get caught up to NXT, yeah, needless to say, that's never a guarantee. But that was that. All right, then we're going to move on to the most surprising match of the night, and this stunned me. It didn't stun you as much,
right?
But Karrion Kross versus Tommaso Ciampa. Holy hell! I mean, like, I knew before this match that they were strapping a freaking rocket ship to Karrion Kross. Like, his entrance is cold. Scarlett Bordeaux is hot as hell. Yeah. Needless to say. And this was a slightly better squash match. Like, it probably went maybe 6 minutes, maybe 7. Like, I was shocked just how Karrion Kross just ran through Tommaso Ciampa. Like, if this was like a lower card guy, like, not named Tommaso Ciampa or Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, like, those top NXT guys, like, he won in 6 minutes. If that was an indication how serious that Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Road Dogg and all of the brass in NXT are about this guy, they strapped him on with a crazy, awesome gimmick, awesome entrance, awesome theme, like, everything to him. Like, I was just because especially in NXT, Matt, like, we don't see this. Like, typically with their takeovers, like, they're like 10, or they're like 10, 15, 20, 25 minute matches.
This made sense.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He obviously crushed the enhancement talent, right?
Yep.
You get somebody with the pedigree of Ciampa, who's been NXT champion, who's
former champion, yep.
who's just a top of the card, one of the top stars on this brand,
and
it didn't go 10, it didn't go 15 minutes. You didn't have a 5-star classic. You had basically minus a few spots. With Ciampa got some offense in, which makes sense because he's Ciampa. Mm-hmm. He's just not going to get any offense in. Mm-hmm. Kross pretty much dominated him and got
from the get-go. Yep.
From the get-go, and basically won under around 6-7 minutes, like we said.
Yep.
And clear and convincing. The finish makes sense. That choke out, he didn't tap out Ciampa. No. He passed out, so that protects him. Mm-hmm. But and then you have Kross looking dominant. And
this is how you build a star. Like, you know, you don't see this on either Raw or SmackDown, and it infuriates me and many other people. Like, this is the formula when you want to get someone over, whether heel or babyface. You give them as I said, a awesome entrance, awesome gimmick, everything, and then you have them beat one of the most credible,
tough guys.
Like that instantly is going to make him a really big deal.
Yes,
and to like Scarlett just adds so much to his character.
It's the right now perfect package to breed into a star.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
Future champion.
Yes.
And future it's champion. Yep.
Well, yes. If bet, you can bet everything that within 6 months, he probably, I'm going to say he's damn close to be champion.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a year, but that would have been too long.
Honestly, I think we
By
could
the end
possibly
of the year?
see Keith Lee versus Killer Cross, instead of doing Adam Cole versus Killer Cross. To me, probably Keith Lee and Cross is probably more realistic. Yeah.
Compared to being the championship match, the mid card title makes more sense. I can buy that.
Or something else. I was also thinking, Matt, like, what if with I keep on saying Killer Cross,
like
Karrion Cross,
like when I say Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. Like, what if his whole thing is to take out all of the NXT originals, essentially? So he took out Ciampa. You would think then probably his next target, maybe Johnny Gargano, possibly. I mean, like,
you have the the male female dynamic between the two groups, which makes sense. Which I thought that's what they were going originally when after their match, their cinematic match.
I thought the same thing too.
Because which is a kind of a nice little twist, if you will.
Well, and the thing that they probably also can benefit from this as well. I don't think that with Karrion, he is he is like really a babyface or a heel. He kind of can be interchangeable there.
It's not been established yet. He's kind of that badass that just came like, ooh.
It's like a Finn. It's like Finn. Yeah.
Yeah. The only problem I came up with the Gargano thing is I don't want him to
basically just like run through
lose again against somebody. I rather.
But at the same time too, you could also make the argument, no loss is gonna hurt him at this point.
Right. I just don't want him to lose over and over. Like, I don't know. Well, coming on. Well, I'll have to see it. Just coming off of losing to Keith Lee. I don't. Back to back at the same. We'll see how it could work out.
Yeah, but this was probably. I would say this was probably the number one takeaway though is Karrion Kross is a freaking star. His star was made tonight.
Made that impact,
and definitely, I think he's a guy that is going to possibly get some more people to want to tune into NXT, possibly. Because he really does stand out from everyone else on that brand right now. I am just envisioning a match between him and Keith Lee. They will beat the shit out of each other.
I don't want to stand up or YouTube will kick us off. If you can't. That's how excited I am for that.
Yeah, it just
like the complete just fist fight those two have, and just seeing Cross hitting that doomsday suplex on Keith Lee, which I know would happen. That would happen, and it just looked amazing.
Or even Keith Lee doing a spirit bomb onto him. Like,
and then
because
false finish.
Right, because Keith Lee is 6'3", 330 pounds, and Karrion Kross is like 6'4", 280 at least. Or 270, whatever.
I want this match to happen.
It just
if this match doesn't happen, I'm gonna be pissed.
I think he probably goes after Keith Lee because obviously he's probably done with Johnny after his match. I mean, and to me, Karrion is probably ready for a title match now. I mean, like, I would love to see that. I'm just that match right there probably has me the most interested out of anything else.
The potential.
Yeah, of just the potential of what NXT can possibly do. But we shall see how that happens. So now we get to the final match of the evening. it's for the NXT Women's Championship between the Resident Android Charlotte Flair versus Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley.
If you don't know, if you can't tell, John really doesn't like Charlotte.
It's not that I don't like her. I just want her to just go away.
Like I said,
to just go away.
At least now she's hopefully not going to be on every show.
Yeah, like that was the main thing that I feel needed to happen. Just if she's going to be on every single show, then get that freaking title off of her now. It's just like you want to talk about someone being overexposed? Like it's ridiculous. Into like you see her playing off of that on social media. I'm like that's not a good thing. Like that makes people not want to see you like outside of your crazy fanboy and fangirl Twitter accounts. It's just I'm just happy that Triple H made the right call, get the title off of her and put it on Io, because now things with the women's division can finally start to get interesting again.
I repeat, John doesn't like Charlotte.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
You want me to look at the tape? Let's stop and rewind. If this was in a court, it's not looking good in your favor.
As my friend Max Holloway would say, it is what it is.
And what it is you don't like Charlotte.
As he would say, it is what it is. So, we have a new NXT Women's Champion, Matt. It is none other than Io Shirai. And before we start this podcast, we now have a lot of Japanese women who are now champions, whether it's Asuka, who's the current Raw Women's Champion. Obviously, Io Shirai is the current NXT Women's Champion. And over in AEW, Hikaru Shida won the AEW Women's Champion. So, it's pretty popular now. Like, there's a lot of really good Japanese women talent. And in my opinion, Io is the best, I would say, in-ring wrestler out of probably all of them. Although Asuka is really damn good, and I think the one thing that she benefits, or the one thing she probably has over all of them, is a presence, a more solidified character to where Hikaru and Io. I mean, like Io, sometimes I'm not exactly sure who she is.
She's like that, like what's the phrase? What I want to say?
Emo.
Wasn't going for that, but yeah, but like that. Not deranged, but like psychotic. You know what I'm trying to get at? Like just the weird like thing. Like I don't know how to explain it, but that's the best way I can. I thought solid great match between these three. I like the ending with the moonsault off the top rope,
and by the way,
onto Rhea, who took
Rhea ate that knee, man. Ooh, oh god!
With Charlotte in the figure eight, which she couldn't get out of the figure eight during the pin, and Io won. Again, I wish this was in front of a crowd for Io winning. The crowd place would have probably lost their freaking mind.
Yeah.
But can't do anything about that now. And you really don't want to hold back this stuff just because there's no crowd, because then it gets stale. So good for Io. She deserves it. Long time coming. Always was teased before, but this was the good spot to pull the trigger, because obviously Charlotte doesn't need to keep it. No. Rhea can eventually get it back. But Io, she had that once she came back from I think it was an injury. I believe, yeah.
Yeah, I think she had a minor procedure on her knee or something like that. It was, but yeah, like because it was like right around WrestleMania time, wasn't that?
I think
pretty
because she
sure.
came back into that ladder match to determine a number one contender, I believe.
Yep. She was in Adam's 6 women challenge.
So
now with her, who do you pin her against as her first title defense?
Rhea,
I guess
just based on the ending, because Charlotte goes back to presumably back to the Raw, Raw, whatever show she was on before.
She gone.
She gone. She don't go here no more.
Yeah.
And with Rhea, she pinned Rhea. There was tension before.
Does she turn heel? I think that's probably where you should go.
Yeah.
Because and
if it's not heel, it's just aggressive against Io.
I feel like that she needs something right now because to me, really, ever since the end of 2019,
she's
like
the crowdless stuff in a way hurt.
Yeah. And to be honest too, I think that title feud with Charlotte didn't really help her, and you probably disagree with me on that. I think it helped her. It helped her. Her.
No, I don't really. I really don't disagree.
Okay.
Because I wanted her to, and wanted her to beat. The moment I wanted her to beat Charlotte, establish her as a star.
Who was right about that? This guy.
You still hate her. But I wanted her to establish her as a star, be a dominant force in NXT. She lost. Charlotte won. Mm-hmm. And I taking the positives out of that, we talked about Charlotte can, put other people over and fight wrestle other women, and you get different matchups, which we kind of got, and it was quick, couple months as champion. She in a way put over Mia, even though she beat her, and then we get this triple threat match. So it wasn't a long title reign. It kind of served its purpose for the time being, which is okay. It wasn't long, so I'm okay with it. But at the same time, it killed Rhea's momentum. Now we just have to get it back.
Yeah, and
she'll be okay.
To me, just her title reign, which is so unnecessary. It's just I don't think she actually helped anything, but just stall everything that the whole division was trying to do. I mean, she
probably other backstage reasoning that we don't know.
Oh yeah, there was definitely politics.
Well, I don't know.
Behind this here,
I don't know about
no doubt about it.
Because of Charlotte saying make me. It was.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say politics.
Because too, if you recall, I'm not sure if it was in an interview in late 2019, she was supposedly complaining about her poking and everything, and how she was being portrayed and how much that she was losing. So,
what?
Yeah. So
I don't recall this.
Yeah. So I think as far as the company was concerned, this was sort of hey, we are sorry. She wins obviously the 2020 Women's Rumble match. But I just
I think there's other stuff too with that.
Oh, I'm sure. But getting back on topic here is just I just don't think that it really helped NXT's women's division. I'm just hopefully now we can start to take it back a little bit on track here and start to put on title feuds to people who are actually on NXT who actually feel that they should be there. I just don't feel like that Charlotte ever really needed to be there, and that was the whole problem here. And supposedly I am currently reading here on Twitter, Matt. Supposedly Johnny is a little bit hurt right now, supposedly.
Was that before tonight?
Or
was that during tonight?
It was probably during because in his post show scrum here Triple H says injury wise the only thing he has heard was Gargano. He is a little bit banged up, but everyone else looks to be healthy.
So nothing serious.
No.
Going through plexiglass doesn't help.
Yeah,
even though it was
hurts.
Planned and done in a way, but it makes it. Yeah, if he's typical. I don't say typical bumps and bruises. Probably a little bit more than that, but it's nothing that he can't. Nothing too serious, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I think that's probably a good place to stop here, Matt.
It was a solid show, like always with NXT. They usually always deliver with these takeovers. Everything, at least it made sense. Things crescendoed to the main event. With the new champion, we kind of knew that was going to happen when. We both said at the same time, looked at each other when they said the championship was kind of second to last or third, whatever the saying is.
Yeah,
kind of.
It was pretty obvious where they were going.
Which makes sense if you're going to do it that way.
Yeah.
Why have a new champion? Why have the women's, then Killer Cross, and then Cole retain?
Yeah, the obviously the only bad thing about that is it became extremely predictable, but
not always. But that's not bad.
But not always a bad thing to be predictable. This was a good predictable here. So yeah,
at least with the triple threat, you could say if you're knowing there's going to be a new champion, you could put that wrinkle that maybe Rhea would win. Possibly, even though it likely Io was going to win.
Yeah, I definitely think.
There's still something.
Yeah,
it's two people can win instead of one.
Yeah, and to me, it was Io's time.
Yes.
She has paid her dues handsomely, and I believe her contract is also coming up soon as well. So
sign her.
So read into that.
Give her the money.
But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. As always, be sure to tune into us once again every single Wednesday. We always react to NXT and AEW Dynamite, and also as well our podcast every Saturday at 3 p.m. For next week, we're definitely gonna be diving into a lot of MMA talk because if you guys haven't been paying attention, we've had fighters complain about their pay, UFC 250, Conor retiring again. So I got a lot of things to discuss there, just kind of how the whole pandemic and zero crowds is really hurting the company in general. So I definitely want to discuss a lot on that. But that is for next week. So as always, comment and subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you guys always follow our Twitter page. As always, we're being a lot more active on there, whether it is wrestling or MMA there. So I was interacting with all of you guys during the pay-per-view which was always fun. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. For Matt and for John, we shall see you on Wednesday.